There's a primal fear in the vast, empty spaces between towns, especially when darkness falls. The glow of distant headlights can be a comfort, a sign of humanity. But what if those lights, that human connection, lead you into something far more terrifying than solitude? Tonight, we delve into a chilling, true account of a highway encounter that defies explanation, leaving a lingering question. Who or what was that hitchhiker? Our story takes us back to the early 1990s, focusing on Mark, a college student driving home for summer break. He was making good time, cruising along a desolate stretch of highway through rural Pennsylvania, hours from the nearest major city. The night was clear, the stars brilliant, and the road was almost entirely empty. Around 2 a.m., he spotted her, standing by the side of the road, a lone figure silhouetted against his headlights, a young woman, dressed in what looked like old-fashioned clothes, a long, dark dress and a shawl. She held a small, antique-looking satchel. Mark hesitated. He wasn't usually one to pick up hitchhikers, especially not late at night, but something about her stillness, her complete isolation, compelled him. He pulled over a safe distance ahead. She approached his car slowly, not running, just a measured, almost gliding pace. When she reached the passenger window, he leaned over and lowered it. Her face was pale, almost translucent in the dim light from the dashboard. Her eyes were wide, a startling shade of blue, but oddly vacant, like she was looking through him. "Going far?" he asked, trying to sound casual. Her voice was soft, barely a whisper, yet strangely clear over the hum of the engine. "Just up the road, to the old bridge. Please." Her lips barely seemed to move. Feeling an irrational chill, Mark nodded. "Hop in." She opened the passenger door herself and slid into the seat. Mark noticed she made no sound, no rustle of fabric, no creak of the seat springs, no click of the seatbelt. He glanced over. She sat perfectly still, hands clasped over her satchel in her lap, staring straight ahead at the road. He tried to make conversation. "Long walk, rough night." She didn't respond, just that unnerving, silent stare. The air in the car grew heavy. A strange, metallic smell, faint but distinct, began to permeate the small space. Mark felt a growing sense of unease, a cold dread seeping into his bones. He sped up, wanting to reach this old bridge as quickly as possible. Then, about a mile down the road, as they approached a crumbling, rusted iron bridge that spanned a deep ravine, she spoke again. Her voice was still a whisper, but it was closer now, colder and filled with a profound sorrow. "Be careful on this road," she said, her eyes still fixed straight ahead. "It claimed me many years ago, and it will claim others." Mark's blood ran cold. His hands tightened on the steering wheel. He glanced at her, and in that instant, her face seemed to blur, to shimmer, her features momentarily dissolving into a gaunt, skeletal outline. He gripped the wheel, his heart pounding. "What are you talking about?" he stammered. Just as they reached the entrance to the old bridge, she turned her head slowly to face him. Her eyes, those wide, vacant, blue eyes, seemed to bore into his very soul. And then, her voice, no longer a whisper, but a clear, chilling pronouncement that echoed in the confined space of the car. "You're next." And then she was simply gone. Not out the door, not disappearing in a flash. One moment she was sitting beside him, the next, the passenger seat was utterly empty. The cold, metallic smell vanished. The heavy silence returned. Now, absolute. Mark slammed on his brakes, tires squealing, narrowly avoiding hitting the rusted iron structure of the bridge. He sat there, trembling, staring at the empty seat, then frantically looking in his rearview mirror, then At the desolate road behind him, there was nothing. No one. The vast, empty highway stretched out under the stars, just as it had been before. He drove the rest of the way home in a blur, pushing his car to its limit. He couldn't explain it. He hadn't fallen asleep. He hadn't been drinking. The memory of her pale face, her vacant eyes, and especially that final, chilling warning burned into his mind. Years passed. Mark tried to forget that night. He told himself it was exhaustion, a hallucination. Then, about 10 years later, he saw it on the news. A major accident on that exact stretch of highway. A young woman, driving home late, had veered off the road just before the old iron bridge, plunging into the ravine below. No survivors. The police couldn't explain it. No evidence of a deer, no other cars involved, no mechanical failure, just a sudden, inexplicable swerve. Mark saw the picture of the victim on the news. His blood ran cold for the second time in his life. She was young, and she was wearing a long, dark dress. He never drove that highway again after dark. He never picked up another hitchhiker, because he knows, deep down, some warnings aren't just words. They're echoes from the impossible, delivered by those who have already paid the ultimate price, reaching out from the desolate roads to claim their next victim.